me to get to share the moment of which he steps on an open stage for the first time, be a part of that is an absolute honor.
What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So with the news of the former 212 Olympia champion, Sean Carrera, the giant killer, joining hands with Stefan as his new coach, I think we should all give Stefan the title of the coach of this year. At least one of the best coach of this year. How does he manages all these clients? And these are some of the biggest names in the pro bodybuilding at the moment. Like for instance, he has guys like Martin Fitzwater, who just placed top 4 in the world. William Bonac, who made such a great comeback. Nathan Deisha, James Hollingshead is also working with him. In classic physique, he has a guy like Fazi, Urs Kleschinski, who just placed 3rd. And it is so incredible what Stefan has done with all these athletes in the last 2 years or so. And what a great coaching career he has had so far. So Sean working with Stefan for this upcoming Prague, that is gonna be the biggest test for both these guys. Now if Sean was doing the 212 class, this could have been a very easy show for him to win. But it is the men's open bodybuilding we are talking about. And there are gonna be some big names. For instance, Martin Fitzwater, not to mention Chris Bumstead as well. Now Sean's conditioning at this past Mr Olympia, that was extremely impressive. But we all know, he won't compare very well if he brings that same size. He needs to be bigger, he needs to be full as he helps. But at the same time, he will have to make sure to have a tight waistline, a tighter midsection, just like he had at this year's Mr Olympia. Now, I don't think the height matters a lot, especially if Sean is 100% on. Because he was able to beat guys like Regan Grimes and Sergio Oliva Jr. And both of these guys are over 6 feet tall. Now we don't expect him to win this show, but Sean at his very best, he will be in the first call out. Rubil Moscara aka Nexilla was body training with Brian and Chris Cormier in Dubai today. Now as fans, we are really disappointed with Rubil pulling out of this show because he was supposed to compete at this year's Prague Pro. But that being said, you have got to admit, the detail on his side leg, that looks so insane right now. Even for a guy who isn't even prepping for any show, his side leg looks so damn good. So with so many bodybuilding media outlets reporting that Rubil isn't doing this upcoming Prague, so far Rubil hasn't given out any statement in regards to his competition plans, which simply means he has already decided not to compete this year. So Chris Cormier has got to play the role of his mentor here, because Chris Cormier himself, he regrets not having that. Because the thing is, even he himself thinks, if he was more dedicated to the sport of bodybuilding, who knows how many Arnold Classic titles he could have won, or maybe even the Olympia title, because that is how good the man was. So this is the second year for Rubil as an IFB Pro, and despite him not winning any show, he was still given the Arnold Classic invite. Now just look at it this way. A guy like Martin Fitzwater, who was a pro for so many years, his application to compete at this year's Arnold, that was denied. So Rubil must take all these opportunities and make the maximum out of these, because it isn't like these opportunities, they're gonna stay there forever. Now he was clearly lacking that quality at his last show, which was Dubai Pro of course, and that too ended with that huge controversy. So people say that he can be as high as top 6 at the Olympia level, especially if he brings his best. Well, I have to say, let him qualify first. Let him win a pro show first, before making all these bold claims. Next up, we have the physique update of Urs Kleschinski, one of the most improved physiques at this year's Classic Physique Mr Olympia after Mike Sommerfeld. So Urs placing 3rd for 2 years in a row. That remained constant, while a guy like Ramondino, who we all thought will never get beat by Urs Kleschinski again, he placed 4th. So I think it is time Urs takes a totally different approach for 2025 and just let his body go through a long off season with the entire focus on winning the Olympia title next year. Many, including me, thought that Urs will not be able to make any significant improvements, especially in his back area, with him being totally stuck with his weight cap. But he did make those massive improvements after he wasn't able to perform that well at this year's Arnold. So the way Urs performed at the Olympia this year, that was a major statement that he can win the Olympia title next year. I mean, he is a tall guy. and he has a similar structure to that of Chris Bumstead. So the only thing that Urs hasn't done since 2021 is take a break from competing altogether throughout the year. So maybe this will allow him to show up better than ever, even better than this version. So Urs's transformation video, that is gonna inspire a lot of bodybuilding fans, because I'm sure many people at that time, in his early days, they would have laughed at him if he said that he is gonna be fighting for Classic Physique Olympia title one day. Now I'm not really sure. What year is that old video from? I guess this must be his first show, back in 2016. So do let me know what you guys think. Will Urs fight for the Olympia title next year? Can he beat an even improved version of Mike Sommerfeld at the Olympia 2025? Next up, we have an update from Chris Bumstead and Martin Fitzwater. So both these guys are doing such a great job promoting this upcoming Prague Pro. And it turns out, we all have to thank Martin Fitzwater as well, because he too played a major role in convincing Chris Bumstead to do this upcoming Prague.
Like when you said you would do it if I did it, I told coach then, I'm like, we're doing Prague because I'm gonna convince Chris we're gonna do an open show together. Like I told Brett that day, I was like, I'm gonna convince him. Watch.
It's happening.
So these are most probably gonna be the final 2.5 weeks of Chris Bumstead dieting super hard, because this is most probably gonna be his last bodybuilding show. But the bodybuilding media, they cannot get enough comparisons of Chris Bumstead with all these other guys.
To see what the response will be. Now, dude, every page is about to compare pictures of you and I now.
Yeah. They'll definitely.
I think people will really lean into it because of the, you and I both pulling vacuums and stuff.
Yeah.
Like people are gonna be like, oh, like this is gonna be so cool.
So I think we can all agree, Martin is gonna win this upcoming Prague. There is no doubt, because Chris Bumstead will have to sacrifice a bit of conditioning and dryness to get that extra size and fullness. But this could be a totally different look for Chris Bumstead, kind of the same to one of these pictures and videos from Mr Olympia 2022 prep, where he was a few weeks out of the Olympia that year, and he looked very big and full as a house. Now I think he is definitely gonna give a run for their money in the side chest and the front lat spread to all of these guys, because these are two of the best shots of Chris Bumstead. Although there hasn't been any official confirmation from Rubil Moscara, but there are comparisons of Chris Bumstead and Rubil Moscara everywhere. So this is most probably gonna be an unforgettable event. So props to Martin Fitzwater. He is one of the best in the world, a potential future Mr Olympia, but still giving so much respect to Chris Bumstead towards the end of this video.
My favorite bodybuilders coming up, but also somebody that is such a great ambassador for the sport, somebody that has grown the sport, somebody that's the best classic physique champion we've ever had, maybe the best one we'll ever have, and honestly somebody that's at the level of which Arnold is in bodybuilding, if you will.
Has Quinton Beast's stance changed over the whole coaching business in bodybuilding? Not even a little bit. He is pretty confident that he knows his body better than anyone to peak for a bodybuilding show, and that Samson and Marlena situation, that made his belief even stronger than before. Just take a look at those pictures. So these are probably taken during his last prep, where he looked so spectacular, which was Toronto Pro. And Quinton has gotten multiple second place finishes in his career so far. And this upcoming year, 2025, I think he is definitely gonna make it to the Olympia stage, because this is the same kind of physique as Samson Dauda, because of his overall structure and his aesthetics. But still, I know he doesn't have the size just yet. But the thing is, he doesn't have to be the most ripped guy on the stage for the judges to take notice. And this is exactly what we saw at his last show, Toronto Pro, where he wasn't the most straight guy, but he was able to beat multiple people because he had a good combination of size and decent enough conditioning. So the world of bodybuilding, that has been waiting for Quinton to pull it all together and be a force in the men's open bodybuilding for so many years. And maybe 2025 is gonna be the year where he shocks everyone, the whole bodybuilding community. So at this point, all he needs is that perfect prep, because he just lost too much size during his prep with Matt Jensen this year for the New York Pro. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.